But does it really? Can we find a loophole? Well, here's one tiny loophole that, again, a lot of theologians and pastors are going to grab onto this one little loophole in order to try to prove their side of the story. But it's just one teeny tiny loophole, but we're going to look at a whole lot more in just a moment. So here's the loophole. Mark 1 verse 5 says, the whole Judean countryside and all the people of Jerusalem went out to him, confessing their sins, and they were all baptized by him in the Jordan River. That word all is in brackets there because it is pause, and it is in the Greek, but it wasn't translated in the NIV, but it does mean all baptized by him in the Jordan. Now, this is talking about John doing his baptism outside of Jerusalem. Now, you would look at that and say, really? Does that mean that every man, woman, child, and baby, the crippled, the elderly, the, everyone? I was like, really? So you got some common sense here. You look at that and think, really? But then you got some proof, and I'll show you the proof here that not everybody was baptized, because the Sadducees and Pharisees, John called them a bunch of vipers because they wouldn't believe. He said, you need to repent. And how do we know that they did not get baptized? Later on, Jesus arrives in Jerusalem, and he's having a discussion. The Sadducees and Pharisees are trying to catch him in a lie, or get him in something that they can bring against him in the court of law. And this is what is said. It comes down to this: the Pharisees are discussing it among themselves, and they said, "Well, if we say that John was from heaven," again they're discussing John. If we say that John was from heaven, he will ask, why didn't you believe him? So evidently, there were some that did not believe and probably were not baptized, because I do not believe John would have baptized them. So this is an area that they're going to use to argue that all does not mean all. So if we have to use the word all to prove all are saved, the Greek word is not airtight. It is very close. I mean, it's ridiculously close. But let's skip for now the idea that all is the only word that we have to rely upon to prove that all will be saved. Let's skip that, and let's just move over to some deductive thinking. And deductive thinking kind of looks like and works like this. If 2 plus 3 plus 3 equals 8, and again, because of what you already know, you already have the answer to the question. 2 plus 3 plus a question mark equals 8. Well, what's the answer? We know it's 3. Because of our ability to have some deductive thinking and use our brains and look at it and just realize, oh, well, that makes sense. It's 3. Here's some other ways of deductive thinking. If all dogs have ears and golden retrievers are dogs, then golden retrievers must have ears. Deductive thinking. If all racing cars go over 80 miles per hour and the Dodge Charger is a racing car, then it means it must go over 80 miles per hour. Just some simple things like that. So now, using that as our deductive thinking, let's jump.